Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.
Hi, I'm Cherry Johnson with Watauga County Arts Council, and I want to welcome you to spring because I've been waiting on spring for a while. And one of the hallmarks of spring in our community is the Spring Appalachian Dance Ensemble. We have, for many years, made sure that we brought you information about this so that you could plan to be there because you don't want to miss it. I have with me Sharon Price, who is the director, the big shot. And Stephen Volkman, who is one of the choreographies. So you're in charge, Sharon.
I am the choreographer coordinator for the SADE show.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you're telling everybody what to do, and you know everything there is to know about this.
No, there is so many people involved in it. You know, there's all our whole production, or we might consider as our tech crew, you know, that are in charge of, you know, like certain parts of the aspect of a concert.
Yeah.
And then we call it our design tech part of like theater and dance.
Right.
You know, and that's with costume, lighting, you know, with a stage manager, light board operator, music technician.
Good heavens.
You know, a little bit of everything there, you know, along with the choreographers, you know, and then selecting certain music. Some people are, you know, sometimes they even produce their own music, you know, and so it just depends.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bigger than I even dreamed.
Yeah.
So, and I've been talking about this for years, and I guess I just never thought about how many faces are involved.
There are a lot
with
of
this.
faces
Yes.
in it, you know. I think a lot of times when we look at the program at the very end, it usually tells us all the number of people who are involved in it, you know. But, you know, we never see those faces. We just, you know, see the repercussion of the actual show itself.
Well, and we don't even see the choreographers.
Right.
We just see the actual dancers.
Exactly.
So, and that's several people already.
Exactly.
Okay.
This year is actually six choreographers that are doing it. There are 3 students works and 3 faculty works in the show.
Okay. Now, and each set of dancers has a group. How many people typically in a dance?
It just depends. I think everybody starts with a certain number of people. When we have auditions every semester, and for the fall we have 2 shows. We have we actually have 3 shows in the fall. We have our first year showcase, which all freshmen who ever come in the app can actually go be a part of the first year showcase in both theater and dance. And then we have our North Carolina Dance Festival show, which we have an audition for that as well too. And then we have our fall dance concert. And then at the end of the whole season, then we have an auditions for our spring show.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of work, you know, and we select dancers for it. The dancers go through their whole rehearsal process with all the with their choreographers, and then we get to this point where our show is getting ready to happen.
Now, Stephen, you're a student.
Yeah.
Okay, you're a senior, and you said this is your first on-stage choreography that you've done.
Yes.
How were you chosen?
We had to basically like type up a proposal saying everything that we had in mind for the whole thing.
Did you already have to have the concept of your piece?
Yeah, we didn't have to like stick to it necessarily. We just had to have a starting idea because like artistically things evolve in ways that you're not expecting once you actually get in the studio. So we had to come in with a concept and how many dancers we're looking for, maybe what, just kind of gives the faculty the clear idea of what we're trying to accomplish.
So that when you did the selecting for the spring, that you had that in mind, I'm assuming, correct?
We audition the student works. Students who are interested in choreographing, they come in with all this information, and then we as a faculty sit down, watch their work, and make a decision about which concert they might actually be in, and whether or not if they actually need to, you know, think about doing it probably next year or something like that. But most of the time we try to select this, you know, we try to, you know, select them for a show, or even, you know, even if, you know, if they come in our fall section, we usually try to say that if you're not pick for that, you know, that we can actually, would love for you to do something for a first year showcase. Or maybe, you know, the fact of just coming back next year and audition again. Because sometimes we do get a lot of students who audition.
Right. Now, how many students are dance majors each year, each class? About?
last year was probably one of our biggest class. I think that we came in with about almost 30-something students who actually freshmen who came in to perform for the first year showcase.
Okay, now, and graduating seniors, how many do you think you have in the class?
I don't know that number right now.
have any
Stephen, you
ideas?
might have a little bit better understanding of that.
In our senior capstone class, which is all the graduating seniors, I believe there's 5 or 6 of us.
Okay, because
Yeah.
where I'm going with this is it a requirement that they all choreograph something?
If they are, usually for the issue of the capstone, if they're dance major, yes. If they're dance minor, the answer is no.
Okay.
But we have students who are not even majors or minors in our department to audition work. So
Wow.
we don't discriminate against that
That's
at
very
all.
interesting.
So it's pretty much open to, if you come in with a good idea and then you want to choreograph a dance, and some of them may have danced in high school or, or professional in other companies coming in, you just never know. And so they may have already practiced what it means to choreograph a dance, and they want to show something.
Wow.
A couple of years ago was the first time we had a freshman to actually do it. We don't usually let that happen for one of our main stage concerts, but for our first year showcase, we usually do. But we have had that happen as well too.
That's interesting.
So anyone who's and that's the same. It goes for some of the classes in our department as well too. For most of our shows, it's pretty open to the whole university population to audition for.
Wow. So this event that has getting ready to happen is kind of a culmination event. Am I right?
Correlation
Of all the work of the year and all the different people that are represented in the dance department and so forth.
We as faculty, we make selections about when we will choreograph our own
Right.
personal works,
Right.
and we usually do that every year, like
kind
who
of take turns,
Yeah, we
yeah.
take turns to that because we can't just have everybody do it every
Right.
single semester, That's a lot of work to do, and we have other things to do as well too, So we have a lot more work to do at the university as well too in our classes. So we select times which works best for us to be able to choreograph works on our students.
Okay, now we have several, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6 dances that
Right.
will be in this production. So it's a wonderful smorgasbord, I think, in the evening. I was telling on the radio this morning, I was talking with Keith, and we were saying that it's kind of, if you have a particular preference or dislike for a certain kind of dance, it's not going to all be that.
Exactly.
So therefore, if you aren't crazy about this particular piece, hang in there. It's going to be another piece in just a few minutes. It'll be something completely different.
Right.
So, and it's also, we were talking about how this was a great way to introduce kids especially to dance, to bring them and let them see dancers on the stage performing, and maybe they want to do it or maybe they don't, but this gives them an idea.
We teach several courses, and our junior course called Style Informed Dance, and it's in a collective which goes with Style Informed Theater, music, but it has a theme connected to it. But it's like a theater, dance, education,
Right.
course. Gen Ed, to give students who normally would not even, who have not seen the arts at all, a chance to see the arts and respect the arts,
Right.
And so we like to do these concerts and have our students for the Style Informed classes, our dance technique classes, our dance history courses, for our students to get a chance to firsthand see a live performance. Some of them haven't seen live performances before,
That's exactly it.
And so this gives them a chance to see a live performance and see what happens in the dance world itself, Also to see that we are artists, also that we're athletes.
Yes.
And so sometimes I think it's not known that we train a lot to be able to get our bodies to the point of view of like performing on stage.
Right.
And so we're very, very passionate about that, and we want to make sure that our students know that and respect that about what we do and put on stage, and also that it's a cultural education. Like people go to museums, people go to the opera. Those are things that we need to at least go to at least one time in our lifetime.
Right.
to see what it's about.
Right. And I think the fact that this has so many different pieces in it is a good way to communicate to children, at least, that you can communicate through dance. That
Right.
it's not just going and watching something,
Exactly.
that somebody's doing or moving around or just random moving, that there's a story. There's
Right.
something behind each one of them. Speaking of which, let's go through some of these. Let's start with yours because I love the title of your piece. Tell me again, Skipple, Droodle, Fatter, Dane?
Yeah, Skipple, Droodle, Fatter, Dane. It's the piece is about like art in general, more of like painting.
It
or
does sound like
splatter paint.
painting.
So it's a combination of different methods of creating art. Like Skipple is like sketching and stippling, and then there's like splatter, and there's paint, and there's just
Doodling.
Yeah, doodling. So it's just a combination. It's kind of Dr. Seussy, the title, but it's really just a combination of different artistic styles.
Okay, now how many dancers are in your piece?
There are 6. I've got 4 girls and 2 guys.
All right, and how long have you been dreaming up this piece?
I guess actually the day before, I had been working on something for auditions for a while, and then I just scrapped the entire thing the day before auditions and created something else. And then I took that into the audition process and got accepted. And then over time, throughout this semester, the whole kind of concept has evolved, and it's very different. It's a bit darker and much slower than it was during the audition. During the audition, it was very playful and very pretty fast paced. But I tend to gravitate towards combining happiness with sadness, and so it still has elements of playfulness and happiness, but it's been more kind of mixed together with elements of sadness.
Do you have
now.
something specific you're trying to communicate with this piece?
It's more of an emotional feel. I didn't make a ton of logical decisions with it. I just kind of looked at it and tried to trust my gut on. I tried to follow a path of consistent emotional feel with it, as opposed to like, oh, this makes sense plot-wise or something.
Yeah.
I didn't really follow that. I just tried to see what. It's hard to describe. I was just it's kind of the thing where you know it when you see it, and so we created a lot of content. We create a ton of content that we created never ended up in this piece, and so I just kind of had to make stuff and then put it together and see how it felt.
And build it. And you also mentioned a while ago that you had changed your music back up for the piece.
Yeah.
So number one, how do you even pick how that happens?
I spent far too many hours picking music. Like probably over 100 hours just like listening to music and trying to figure it out. And like the music that I initially had was a lot more playful and it was a bit more upbeat. But then as it took more elements of kind of like kind of quirky sadness with a little bit of whimsy. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland a little bit. And so as it adopted that feel, I took a liking to a Brazilian love song, and I found the instrumental version of that, and it's like slow but quirky.
And so that's how you finally settled in something.
Yeah, it's a song.
What did you end up with? What was the music that you ended up with?
The music, yeah, it's called É Você. It's by a Brazilian band called the Tribalistas. I'm probably saying their name wrong, but yeah, I heard them in a general education class my freshman year, and
it stuck.
Yeah, it stuck.
So your piece is this in order, the list that we've got here surrounding a specific order to these?
It is in the order of the show.
So it's the second piece that we'll get to see. The first one is Reboot and Reset.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about Reboot and Reset.
I can't tell you a whole lot about it. It's, of course, the choreographer is Susan Lukes, which you know really well. And Susan is one of our senior faculty members.
Right.
She's been working with the department for a long time, and she decided she wanted this time to create a piece with six women, and it was basically a piece that she says it stops and starts and losing and regaining energy inside of the work, and so I've seen a very little bit of it. I can't, I want people to come to the show, so I can't give too much information about the work.
Reboot and reset, the starting and stopping.
Exactly.
There's something that makes some sense there. All right, now we also have a new faculty. No, not is Catherine the new faculty? No, she's
Catherine,
not. Catherine's the one I met
Catherine
last
is
year.
one of our adjunct faculty members in the department. This is her second time creating something on. I think she choreographed something for the first year showcase before, and I think this is maybe her first time creating something on the main stage performance.
The name of hers is A Glimmer in Time. I
Right.
remember it well.
Yes.
And so we're gonna right, and then the next one's Bonfire of the Vanities.
Right.
That's a student.
That's a student works. That's what's his name again? I'm sorry.
Andrew.
Andrew Benson.
This
Andrew
one is more
Benson.
balletic.
Very balletic.
It's what? Ballet. Okay,
yeah.
you probably know more about each other's pieces than even Sharon would, because you probably do you guys see each other's pieces develop?
They are. I'm actually in charge of the choreography class for them. For all the student works, I've seen all the student works.
Gotcha.
And
so go for it then, Sharon.
Yes.
Tell us about this piece.
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give too much information about it, but it is a piece of like the differences of, as Andrew probably says in his collaboration right here, that about grieving against one another, and the side of the piece that portrays the conflicts that people have with each other.
Okay.
So, but it's really a very, very beautiful. I think for his first piece, he gravitates more to ballet, and he wanted to create a balletic kind of piece to it. I think it's a beautiful work. I think all the works, in fact, are very beautiful on the concert. The students, what they do is like when they do go through the audition process, they come and meet with either myself or Emily Daughtridge, in our department as well too, and we've done it collaboratively as well too. It's the two of us come into the space. In the fall semester, it's the two of us because there's so many people and so many different shows. This year, this is my first time actually doing the whole choreography class itself with just me and the students.
So they come and sort of bounce it around with you?
I have them 2 days a week. They come in, they bring in their choreography, they showcase it. Sometimes they bring their students in to do that. This year we didn't have the kind of situation. Usually sometimes they bring their students in, they show the work, they videotape every rehearsal they have with their students, with their student dancers, and we basically come in and we talk about the work and talk about what we see in the work, give them feedback on what we see in the work, and hopefully by having this collaboration that we have with them, talking about the work, they go off and then try to see if they can find answers to some of the questions that come up.
Fine-tune things.
Right,
Yeah.
fine-tune it, come up with answers behind some of the questions that come up while in that process.
That's really interesting. And then we
It's like
have
a mentoring.
Okay, yeah. Erin Lafferty must be another student.
She's a student.
I'm pretty sure I've met her. Burdens Released is the name of her piece. And then we have Avalanche, and this is a new faculty member.
Exactly.
Kara Hagan.
Right.
And I understand Kara's got quite a background.
She does. I just want to say quickly, Erin is she's a sophomore, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not certain.
I think, but her work is a beautiful piece too, and so I wanted, and this is the first time she's choreographed on our main stage performance. So most of the people who are choreographing right now are people who this is their first time actually doing something on our main stage.
So is he the only senior that's?
Yes.
He's the only senior this year. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, all the other people are either sophomores or I think they're sophomores or juniors.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess everyone but Susan, this is their first time with the dance ensemble, right?
Right.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, Susan
Yeah.
has done it all.
Right. Kara Hagan is actually a new faculty member who's coming from. She's a School of the Arts graduate, and she worked at High Point University, and now so we had an opening last year, and Kara came in for the job, and we selected her right offhand. We had seen her perform many times with the North Carolina Dance Festival shows,
Right.
Which they had to premiere work through Jan Van Dyke with the dance project down in Greensboro, North Carolina. So it's really great when we saw Kara on the North Carolina Dance Festival show. She was incredible. She came in, she did a performance. She did 2 performances here at Appalachian, and one was with her twin sister, you know, and so it was really great to be able to see her dance. And she's an African American woman in our department, so we have an African American woman in our department as well too,
That's cool.
as
That's
well
cool.
with me. So it was great to be able to have her on, and she's come in and taught some really incredible classes with our students, and our students love her, you know, so it's great to be able to have her on our faculty here. Yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
She's also done work with the North Carolina Arts Council. Just got a big grant with the North Carolina Arts Council down in Raleigh, and she's premiering a work coming up really soon.
So she had an artist grant.
Right,
As an artist.
right,
That's cool.
exactly.
That's really
very
impressive.
good, very cool.
Now, are you going to be the next Sharon? Is this your goal? What are you planning to do?
I don't know how involved I'll be with dance after graduation. I'm not as much interested in the performance if I am involved with it, I still love movement.
Right.
But I'm more interested in movement-based education than I am in the performance aspect of it.
What is movement-based education?
It's just kind of like a lot of people, especially me, I just don't really enjoy being in the classroom.
Right.
And I don't know, it's just like it's utilizing movement to make connections through learning. It's kind of hard to explain. I don't know how valid this is, but I like to study kind of like about communication and education. And as far as I know, it's easier to form like a long-term memory as far as learning when there's some physical movement involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because like that's really why I got involved in dance, because it was very hands-on. And as opposed to being in the classroom and just learning theory all the time and never actually doing anything.
That's one thing that the arts are so strong in, is giving an opportunity for the multiple intelligence theory thing, where
Agreed.
people are learned different ways, and some people need to hear it, some
Right.
people need to see it,
Exactly.
some people need to do it,
Right.
et cetera. You know, so I think that's a
Yeah.
big part of it, and seeing that strength of the or the benefit of movement as one of the learning tools that we need to accomplish things.
Right.
So I think that's
Yeah.
cool. Now, so where are you going after graduation?
I'm planning on. I've got some like some sort of ambitious stuff working out. I'm not really disclosing all the details on it.
We won't make you
but
do that.
I'm trying to move down to Austin, Texas.
Wow.
And like probably like a week after graduation, and try and start up something like in more of an entrepreneurial route.
Very
So-
interesting. I'm impressed.
So we'll see how that goes.
Good luck to you. Okay, now this performance is coming up really quick.
It's very
And so
coming
we wanna
up.
make sure that everybody gets there.
Yes.
The dates are the 25th through the 28th.
That's
which
correct.
Is a Wednesday through Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's at 7:30 at Valborg.
Yes, ma'am.
And Valborg, if you're not familiar with Valborg, it's one of the coolest theaters in the area, I think, of the state. It's right behind the Turchin Center.
That's correct.
And it is a theater that's very well set up for dance in particular, because you can see what's going on.
Right.
You're not looking at a row of dancers and you can only see the front row. You can look down on top of them and see what's really happening. So I think that's very interesting.
Proscenium stage. Yes.
Yes, and it's excellent. And then where do they get tickets, Sean?
They can get tickets at the box office of the Valborg Theater, which opens up at 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock
Right.
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
But they can also buy tickets over at the Schaefer Center as well too.
Right, and they're $9 for students and faculty, and $16 for the community.
Yes, ma'am.
Adults. Okay, cool. Now, so they need to go ahead and get their tickets because
They can either get their tickets online as well too, and there is a contact number they can call the different box offices for that information.
now some of y'all's productions, it's a different production every night, and some of them it's the same one every night.
It's
Which
only
is
set up
this
that
one?
way for the North Carolina Dance Festival
Right.
show, because we have guest people who come in from different parts of North Carolina
Right.
to do that show. But these shows for our fall dance concert as well as our spring dance concert, we call it Fade and SADE.
Yeah.
That's the Spring Appalachian Dance Ensemble concert. Usually it's the same works every single night.
Okay, so if you come and you see it and you want to bring somebody back to see what you saw,
It's gonna be the same
you can
work.
do that.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Yeah. So again, there are at 7:30 p.m. at Valborg Theater,
Right.
Wednesday through Saturday. And 7:30. I understand from Keith that this is about an hour and a half long, the whole production.
In fact, it's probably less. We're trying to do without an intermission in this show, so we're
Okay.
trying to keep it a straight through shot. Probably keep it like an hour, maybe 10 minutes, something like that of work, yeah, we're trying to.
Which makes it family friendly.
Right, exactly,
Because that way
exactly.
they can come at 7:30 and still get home at a reasonable hour.
Exactly,
So, yeah.
exactly.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And congratulations on your achievement of being a senior and getting ready to graduate and being a choreographer of this piece.
Thank you.
So we're looking forward to this. Is going to be a great show. I
Right.
can already tell.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We hope everyone comes out to see the show as well too.
Right. And check the Arts Council's website, watauga-arts.org, for links to this and a lot more.
The Watauga Arts Council with your host, Cherry Johnson, serving arts in Watauga County for more than 30 years.